How's it going, grinders, and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. For today, we're going to take an in-depth look at our weapons tier list. So break out that notepad and pay attention, lest you'll end up between a rock and a hard place, picking up that Mozambique on purpose. Ready? But let's get into the mood with our question of the day. What is your favorite weapon and why? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to tell me all your little secrets when it comes to your expertise with weapons. For the S tier, we have a weapon with a big bang. Getting shot by this lovely toy is never a good experience. Once you hear its sound, all you're gonna do is hide your head and hope to not get blasted. But what makes this weapon so powerful? Here's the real deal. You can only get this weapon from a supply drop, and it's impossible to use any foreign ammo. Sounds a bit meh, right? Well, my friends, the gun is worth the trouble. Being equipped with a 610x sniper scope and always able to one-tap if it hits the head makes the Kraber a powerful and scary weapon as anyone reaches the later stages of the game. And that's not it. Even on the body, it only takes 2 hits to down someone, be it with red, purple, or any type of armor you can dream of. And in case you're running around with flesh only, well, you'll be gone in less than a second. Now let's use that information and apply it to the average game. With Apex being as fast-paced as it is, any type of immediate advantage is a literal game changer. If you happen to knock someone with this beast, you best believe that your team is going to ape them without any mercy. In addition to that, you can horrendously grief and third-party other fights just by removing one variable from the equation. Sounds fun? It absolutely is, if you can find one. Consistency at all ranges your choice of style? Then the R301 is your go-to weapon. It features great bullet speed, an ease of control, and an insanely high accuracy. On top of that, it also boasts an excellent rate of fire. Its performance during close-range encounters is good, be it down sights or while hip firing. If you slap on some attachments, it even becomes super easy to control this weapon at a long range. Without those attachments, you might face some issues regarding the horizontal and vertical recoil though. For the downsides, I have to mention that its base mag capacity isn't the largest and its damage surely isn't the most overwhelming. It still deserves its slot in the S tier. The R301's adaptability and overall viability is just something that cannot be denied even if it features some situational drawbacks. So for your game plan, pick up that gun, find some attachments, and wreak absolute havoc on any distance. And for your own safety and sanity, pray for an extended light mag from the get-go. And this is our full weapons tier list for the S tier. Are you interested in becoming a better Apex player in the fastest way possible? Then check out ProGuides.com. We got the best players, best coaches, and best content creators you can ask for when it comes to Apex Legends content. Click the link in the description below and enjoy the RP. With the S tier out of the way, we're moving over to the A tier. And here comes the all-time classic, the Wingman. Any skilled player or wingman enjoyer can relate to this statement. You're either going to look absolutely demonic taking off heads cleanly, or you'll whiff every single bullet. There is no in between. If you're, however, very well versed in the ways of the wingman, you'll never regret picking it up. But why? This weapon has no movement speed penalty when you're aiming down sights, which can be a massive advantage given the situation you're in. Nonetheless, sometimes it'll be better to flick without making too many movements, otherwise you might get dizzy, cause gunfights can become very frantic very fast. Both parties jump around, slide across your screen, and doing everything at the same time can become more than just challenging. Oh, and did I mention that your headshot damage only falls off past 250 meters of distance? Great poke, great skill expression, and a lovely design to showcase your individual talent. Now what about a weapon that true veterans of this game love to run with the Wingman? Here we have the Peacekeeper. This gun is something you don't ever want to face inside of a building. Especially in a zip building, it's a death sentence to confront a PK by choice. It might be a bit different if you're by far the better player and use your movement to avoid a lethal confrontation, but I usually wouldn't bet against it. If you want to know why this shotgun is so special compared to the others, no problem. For that, you've got us. Its range for a shotgun in video games is surprisingly high, and it's not what the weapon was designed to do, but you can still shoot people from a medium distance. Another little trick people seem to forget about the PK is the fact that you can tighten the spread of its shot by aiming down sights. So let's say that you know someone is about to turn a corner. All you have to do is wait, aim down sights, and let your poor victim walk into your shot. And this is our full weapon tier list for the A tier. A tier closed down, B tier up next. Here we got the Havoc for you. being part of the upper echelon of energy guns when it comes to getting somebody killed fast. That is, if you have a turbocharger on hand. If you have that charger, the Havoc will turn into one of the deadliest weapons you can have. Otherwise, it's still not a bad pick if you're capable of handling it. The Havoc's base mag size is insane, which makes it easier to just spray and pray. Taking that into consideration, you'll also be able to fight multiple enemies at once without immediately emptying your mag on the first guy. If you're a fan of a more condensed view for the weapon, here are the straight pros and cons of the Havoc. As previously mentioned, it has the highest mag capacity out of all assault rifles. Next to that, it also features the fastest projectile travel speed for a weapon of that class, super high damage per shot, and a relatively low projectile drop. The cons, on the other hand, are also to not be underestimated. Without the turbo, you'll be stuck with a short delay in between trying to shoot and actual shooting, a powerful recoil pattern that'll definitely take some time to getting used to, and a super slow loading speed. Next to its energized friend, we have the Devotion. This gun also grows in power once you've acquired a turbocharger and makes it a menace to deal with as people can just spam you. Similar to its ammo type friend, the Devotion also features a high mag capacity and has an insane rate of fire and damage once it's ramped up. So, both of these guns really struggle with ramping. And exactly, that's one of their main weaknesses. Not being able to immediately respond to a gunfight can come costly and is often viewed as a major issue, which is obvious. Next to that, there's also something people don't generally think about. Never ran out of ammo? No? You must be a friend of light and heavy rounds then, because you can actually run out of energy ammo pretty darn fast. Highest rate of fire, big mag capacity, and a rarer type of ammo? That can only spell trouble and will force a lot of players to swap weapons during a game, as even the best weapon is useless if it has no ammo left. And this is our entire tier list for the B tier. In the C tier, we have the Prowler. This weapon loves close quarter engagements. With the power of its burst mode, it shoots faster than the R99, which is generally hailed as the fastest weapon in the game. It's also relatively easy to control as long as we stay within close range. You'll also be delighted to hear that its hipfire is not too far spread and is actually quite tight. But with every weapon next to its pros, you'll be faced with its cons. The mag size is fairly small, which makes it hurt a lot if you happen to miss burst. For the controller versus keyboard and mouse community, we generally face a split here. Controller players really like the burst style of the weapon as it performs exceptionally well for them. However, a lot of keyboard and mouse players generally try to stay away from this gun. Jokes aside, if you're given the choice between a Prowler and Flatline, just pick up the Flatline. It's better in any way possible, and that's also the problem with the Prowler. What if you have a gun that does everything better than another gun? Why would you pick up a weaker one? You don't, unless you have to. The next gun in this list can also be described as the pub gun, but you may know it as the R99. The more aggressive and reckless you play, the better this weapon will perform. So if you're a fan of W-keying into enemy squads, this'll be your choice, even though it's placed relatively low on this tier list. It still holds the power to one clip if you have the required precision, but leaving the scope of for fun pubbing and entering the sphere of sweaty tryhard rank sessions, you'll quickly find the blatant flaw of this gun. Its range is too underwhelming, and constantly W-keying surely isn't the way to play if you're in it for some RP. Nonetheless, if you're to find this gun on drop, prepare for one heck of a ride. Combining immaculate movement with precise aim turns this weapon into a tool for slaughter. High damage per second, the highest rate of fire out of all weapons, and only a minuscule movement speed penalty when you're aiming down sights. Next to those pros though, the cons come in overwhelmingly for the vast majority of players. It shoots fast, but it hurts less. Not only that, it also features an incredibly powerful recoil, which makes it harder to hit every single bullet. That directly translates into a major waste of ammo when you happen to mess up. On that note, if you're trying to kill a fortified legend with body shots, you need 25 hits on red, and your gun with the best attachments can only hold 27. So good luck with that. And here's our entire list for the C tier. When Apex Legends released, a lot of players were memeing about Lifeline's iconic voice line, Mozambique here. Yes, there is one there, but do you truly want to pick it up? In arenas, the weapon is free and quite nice to poke the enemy from a range. Yeah, you heard it. Using the Mozambique to poke from range. Especially if your aim isn't insane, you can use that technique to get yourself a slight advantage during your arena games. Outside of the arena, it's more like a no from us when it comes to this gun. Yes, it may feature a high fire rate, an automatic shot, and no movement speed penalty when aiming down sights, but is that truly enough to outweigh its seemingly overbearing cons? With one of the slowest projectile speeds in the game, low DPS, and a precise aim requirement, this weapon is just asking for too much. During the early game, however, specifically on drop, this gun can save you quite a bit of trouble as it's generally not that awful during that stage. Another weapon with a terrible rate of fire is the Bocek compound bow. Similar to other cases, there's just little reason to pick this weapon. However, you will gain an element of stealth that allows you to take some shots without being noticed between heartbeats. The next downside though comes from the form of how it deals damage. If you're not able to get a full draw, your damage output is going to suffer significantly. The most glaring issue with this weapon though comes from its unique ammo type. Due to the strength of this weapon, you'll rarely see people actually run it, which means you have a very low chance of getting it from boxes. Here's something cool though. You can pick up missed arrows later, and if you kill someone with those, you'll actually find them in their death box. And this is our entire tier list for the D tier. With all that said, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon for more Apex Legends.